they were. Because then Kip Keller, the young kid, makes a mistake. He looks at his former teammate in Stroud, who is now with St. Louis. He looks him dead in the eye, plays him a pass. Stroud turns, looks at the goalkeeper and says, I got this, and puts it in the net. And as soon as Stroud turned his hips to face the goal, you see Keller's hands go to his head, and he's just like, oh no.
It's the Football Prophets.
Welcome back, FP family. Welcome again to Football Prophets, where two friends talk all things American soccer. And as always, I'm your host, Mache, and I'm here with Coach David on my right. How you doing today, my friend?
I'm doing well, Mache. How about yourself?
Doing good this morning, man. Excited to do some reviews on some exciting games yesterday.
Sure.
Yeah, all right. I'm going to break it down for us. Always, we have our three parts. Part one, we're going to cover some games here. We're going to do Nashville, and then we're going to talk about New York FC, and then we're gonna do Dallas and Toronto, and then we're gonna cover
DC, Toronto.
DC and Toronto. Thank you, appreciate that. DC and Toronto, DC United and Toronto. Pretty excited about that. I watched that the whole game. That was really nice. And then we're gonna go to Austin, and then Austin played the newcomer, St. Louis. So we're gonna cover that
inaugural season.
Yeah, we're gonna cover that, and then we're gonna go Vancouver and Real Salt Lake for our first part. For our second part, we're gonna touch on some of the rest of the game that happened yesterday. We're gonna go through stats. We're gonna just kind of jump through that a little bit quickly. Some games that we just wanted to touch on. We're gonna go over that when we touch our second part. And for our part three, we're gonna jump to conclusion a little bit. We're gonna make some more bold prediction about just based on week one, all the games that we've seen. We're gonna talk about pastures, Jesus, English. First manager to be fired. We're going to talk about some best newcomers, some players that we saw. And we're going to talk about some waste of money, some players that was like, yeah, ship them back if you can. And then Golden Boot, Assist King, Child Prodigy. That's kind of Coach David's thing. He covers and always lets us know on who's doing good in like the U17, U18 level. So excited to hear what a new name we have. And then that's going to be it for our show here. So let's go ahead and get started here, Coach. I'm excited about the game, excited about Nashville. Go ahead and get us started with that. What do you think about the game, and what do you have to say about it?
I thought it was a very fun game to watch. It had just about everything you wanted. Two of the higher seeded teams in the East going right at it, and you thought there would be fireworks. And to Nashville's credit, there's only fireworks on one side of this field, and that's the Nashville side. Yeah. They ended up winning 2-0, and it was convincing. They did it for most of the game without their talismanic player in Hani Mukhtar. He came in the 75th minute. He's certified baller. Came in, just the respect level is kill. I don't. We'll talk about it, but keep going. Sorry. So for the first half, it was all Nashville, full on the attack. Schaffelberg, who is a young kid, he comes in. He's looking really dangerous, playing kind of out wide on the left. He switches over to the right. Yeah. The front four for Nashville, very fluid. Everyone was getting into different spots. Yeah. Fafa Pico was getting out wide, playing up top. It was good play.
Yeah, they were pushing up some balls that he was like, yo, that back is good. That one I was watching it a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. And then in the 35th minute, Nashville have a free kick from the right-hand side, the left-hand side. Ball comes in. Walker Zimmerman with a header that the keeper partially saves, pushes wide. It just crosses the line right before, I believe, Fafa Pico pushes it in. So Walker Zimmerman, center back, captain, gets the first goal of the season. Yeah. Which is a great thing to see. And it was Godoy that came in to get the clearance just in case needed. but it did get awarded to Zimmerman.
Nice.
And 1-0 Nashville early on in the game. And the half finishes that way, 1-0. Second half, NYC is starting to be a bit more
build
dominant.
back up. Yeah.
They're starting to get more confidence on them. They're not rushing every pass. Hit plays are starting to come in, and I think a big part of that is their best player, Tallis Magno. I think he's 19, 20.
Yeah.
He has been playing out of position, and they've been playing him at the 9 role. Second half, he shifts over out wide. Andrade shifts to the 9, and everything looks better for them.
Yeah.
They look more comfortable playing that way, and I would be surprised if they put him back at the 9.
The 9, yeah.
I just think that's an experiment that's not going to work. And it was the crowd in Nashville, electric. Every time Chanot, who was a center back for New York City FC, every time he got on ball, I couldn't hear the announcers because they were booing so loud. Like, you just couldn't hear what was going on. They were crazy. What amazing support there. And then, as we said, in the 75th minute, Hani Mukhtar, MVP, comes on. You could have been listening to this game through the radio. And you would have known. You would have known what player was coming on because the whole 28,000 people just started chanting. Everyone knew it was Mukhtar's moment.
Yeah.
And
he looks so smooth too, man.
He's good.
That dude is just so natural.
Man, my team, the Sounders, we had a chance to sign him and we passed on it. We picked up Nico Ladero, who is a quality player. But I would like to have Mukhtar.
Bro, when he came in, that's when I was excited because he gave that assist. And you could tell that he's not 100%. But as soon as he touched the ball, the patience, you can see all the defender as just shifted on him. And he opened up I think it was the left side for the player that came in.
To Shuffleberg.
He opened up that left side for him and he saw it and he waited a few more. Like that patience. He waited a few more seconds and then snuck that ball in. And, oh, my God. I was like...
Yeah, for a little more detail on that, 5 minutes after getting substituted into this match, Mukhtar's on the ball, dribbling at goal, maybe 25, 30 yards out, takes the ball on, dribbles at defenders. Not a single defender steps to him.
No, they were all like... 3
defenders there. All of them are backpedaling towards their own goal. Hips are getting turned.
The fear.
Giving him space. Yeah, and then right as he beats one defender, the defender that was marking Shuffleberg switches over to try to cover
what I'm saying.
Mukhtar, leaves him wide open because they know where the threat is. Mukhtar plays a beautiful little dinked pass, and it's an easy goal for Shuffleberg. I'm
telling you, the fact that he waited for that defender to like switch focus, that's one of my things where it's like he's a good player, but the IQ level, dude, that was
for sure.
That was one of those ones where I was like, oh, now I get it. Because I texted you. I think I was like, yo, Nashville's good. Because when you told me that they may take over the Eastern Conference, I was like, I don't know if they're going to take over the conference. But I texted you and you were like, wait when he's healthy. And I was like, he's doing this and he's not 100%.
And I think that's the big takeaway for me here is last season when Mukhtar wasn't firing on all cylinders, they tanked Nashville. Just could not buy a win. But this game, first 75 minutes without him, they looked dominant.
Yeah.
Still, it was 1-0.
Yeah.
They had the ball probably 75% of the time. They were the only team in it, and that was without Mukhtar.
Yeah, but that's
a big difference from last season.
How much easier can he make things if they keep this at this level, and then he's starting? That'll be good.
And I think he'll probably be starting, if not next game, the game after.
Yeah. He'll
be in soon. He didn't look like he was pulling any knocks or anything.
Yeah. All right. Awesome. Do you have any more things to add as far as that game goes?
Just one thing. At the end, New York City was starting to get a little upset with how that game was going. They didn't have anything.
But no jokes, though. I had it pulled up here. They should be upset because they came in second half, and if you look at the possession, it was 62% to 38.
Yeah.
They were kind of dominating us. They just couldn't buy a goal. They had opportunities.
It was kind of like that Seattle Club World Cup game for both teams where I said it was constant build-up and great build-up, but no final product. They just couldn't get that last
they
pass
couldn't
through.
get that. And that was the only thing I took away from that. Is that obviously that's frustration because, well, you have the same amount of shot, but you have more passes. You have more, like, the passes are like 499 New York to 233 Nashville.
And
that's huge
one
difference.
thing is Nashville for almost the whole game played specifically off the counterattack. They weren't a build-up team.
They were pushing.
They waited for the ball. They won the ball deep and then made 3 passes and they were on the attack.
Exactly.
It was quick.
Exactly. So you can tell that's a team that has confidence in themselves.
Oh, for sure.
So
and they're a fun team to watch.
Oh, bro, I'm telling you, although they got kind of dominated that second half, I was just like, they're good.
Yeah,
they're good.
And any game, like the one I'm waiting for the most is going to be Nashville, New York Red Bulls. That will be the most open and explosive. Like there might be 37 goals that game. That's going to be whenever that comes up on the schedule list. I think we might have to make a road trip.
Yeah, let's do it. If it's Nashville, let's do it. That's only 4 hours. All right, awesome. So let's go ahead and move to our second game. We're gonna talk DC versus Toronto TFC. What you got for me on that, Coach?
Well, you watched this game in entirety, so I'll let you take it, and I'll just put out a few things that I wanted to put out there. First and foremost would be Matai Akinboni, 16-year-old center back in the start. This is rare.
Made a few mistakes.
He caused a penalty.
Inexperience. I was gonna bring that up. But it looks good overall. At 16 years old, first game of the season, that crowd, going against. He made a lot of mistakes, even some dropbacks. But if you look at his upside, he's got a huge upside.
The big question here is every defender coming into a league for the first time and like getting real minutes, they're going to make some dumb mistakes when they're early on in their career.
Mm-hmm.
The big thing you want to look at with a 16-year-old is, do they look out of place physically?
Yeah.
And he was up for it. He's a big kid. He's 6'3", 175 pounds. He is athletic. He looked good physically.
Yes.
And the mental side of that will come.
That's what I'm saying. Those were just experience. Those were like a lot of his mistake was inexperience, and he has a huge upside. So I'm good with. I'm not good with that mistake because the 2 goals. Because for those who don't know, the game ended 3-2. I don't think if we preface what the game ended with Nashville was 2-0. So, but with DC, he ended up being 3-2, which was very exciting. DC was supposed to win this game from the beginning. The 2 goals that went in, the first one, obviously penalty being cast, a mistake. The second one was such a bang goal by Anthony Kane, kind of putting that in.
Mark Anthony Kane is one I want to touch on a little bit.
For real, he's kind of carrying away of that midfield for TFC. That midfield is not where it's supposed to be. The defense is looking a bit good. Sean Johnson didn't do as well as I thought. I mean, it's first game, but that midfield, though, with Anthony Kane there, what you got to say about that?
So, Mark Anthony Kane, a few years ago, lit up the league. Everyone loved him, right? And then he kind of dropped off the cliff a bit. And you just like, what happened to him? And it's a position change. He is not a true 10. He's kind of like a Latif Blessing role almost, where
like a hybrid.
Where if you play him at the 10, he will press like crazy.
Yeah.
And he will do all the defensive work up top.
Yeah.
So that way your player sitting in behind will do either, but he's not the best passer and facilitator of the ball.
Yeah.
But that's when he's at his best, when he's pressing higher up the field,
in
at least an advanced 8 role. But
is that where you will play him as a coach?
That's where I would, just because I like high pressing games.
Okay, who would you put at that 10 though? In that, if you look at the bench,
well,
I mean the roster is just the roster.
You can kind of put you can keep your roster the exact same, and you can just kind of shift players around a bit. And he doesn't. He can still play the 10. But he's playing the 8 currently. He can still play the 8, just play a little more aggressively and a little higher up the pitch.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that we would see Canadian national team level Mark Anthony Kane again.
Yeah.
And again, he is coming back from a bit of an injury, so
you gotta go.
I like to see what's going to happen there.
You gotta go, so that counts. But one thing minute 12. go minute 12. We all know where DC ended last year. Not the greatest spot, you know. But minute 12, watching that game, my note says, no, minute 11 before they scored. I literally wrote Wayne Rooney got this boys playing. Wayne Rooney got. I don't know what he's telling them. I don't know how he's motivating them, but these boys are here to play.
I mean, do you need much more motivation than playing under a manager who, in his playing career, was one of the greatest in the world?
I think the resident, you want to impress him. I don't know, maybe that's it. But these boys came out the gate playing, and then their DP player that they just signed in the midfield, I might say his name wrong.
Mateus Klitsch.
Yeah, what a goal!
Rocket, just
what
he had that
goal.
Thing on a line, right?
He's
like
just,
laser.
Sean couldn't do nothing about it, man. That thing went right in. Sean tried to save it. Nothing. So, and you want to see your DP player kind of pay off coming in like that, and you trust him, having him start, and he played really good. So I was excited about that. So that you get the payoff right away. And then the new formation that they're playing, having two striker in there. I liked Roberta. Roberta looks good. Benteke wasn't really comfortable in the beginning. I think it has to do with positioning, with spacing, with having the two strikers up. But he settled in.
He didn't look good last season either. He's going to be into my bust category.
For real?
I'm not feeling it for
I like
Benteke.
this goal, man. He did some good things. His
goal, any other 6'+ center back would score that. It was just he was a body on the back post for a header. You expect
you
anyone
had to be like that, but that's where it's supposed to be. So he did one thing right.
Yeah, but one thing, literally, if one of my kids at like,
oh my God, don't say that.
I would bench him.
One of your high school kids.
I would bench him. Like, it's just that has to be a goal. The ball in
so
was
he
perfect.
That was like he was supposed to do that. He did his job.
Yeah, but when you're paying that much money and that high profile of a player, you want him to do more than his job. Yeah. Right? You're not bringing in Christian Benteke, Premier League legend, Belgian legend, to do a job. Yeah. No, he's supposed to score the goals that no one expects to see scored.
Yeah. So as we keep going here, let's move to TFC a little bit, Toronto. One of the things is that Bob Bradley, who was the manager, also kind of, I guess, general manager, made some changes to the team that he thought was going to help. They struggle a lot with they had a chance to just tie the game and they let it go. What they struggle a lot was the goal differential last year, just letting people score on them, and then he addressed it by getting Sean and kind of putting some pieces in that defense. But it looks like that's going to be a recurring thing. And like in the first half, they like cut to him and I saw his eyes and I'm like, this man's about to cry. This man is going to cry here. He made some changes. I think it may take him some time to gel. So that's pretty much it. But a few things, two player. I know you told me this, but I gotta look at my notes here to my phone. The name of the player, Durkin. He's slow. I know he's a good player, but he's slow.
He is, but he plays the position well. And when you're in position, you don't need to be fast.
Bro, but they're like, in this day and age, like, yes, you can have a 6 that's slow. But, bro, when you, like, they give him a ball, like, he was a little bit higher. And he tried to turn around and run with the defender. And he just took the ball away from me. I'm like, bro, you cannot be this slow. You can't be this slow.
Yeah, and that is kind of the key. Like, he is a 6, but he also plays out on the right side as well.
Yeah. Like,
he isn't going to break away on fast breaks.
But I hold the ball enough to even pass it off. That's my thing. But hey, he looks good. Santos missed, first of all, a header that would have went in for DC. 2 minutes later, misses a shot. That's a goal. And in my notes, literally what I wrote was, in this game, Santos is trash until proven innocent. Because they would have scored another goal. He had 2 chances in like 2 minutes. And did nothing with it. So that's my other thing. But the other shift that happened is when I forgot. I can't really say his name right, but the striker, I think he's a striker for TFC, got injured and came out. And
Lorenzo Insigne. That's what I wanted to touch on a little
and
there.
Kinole came in for him, and he brought some life into the game. Because he started getting some shots off. He started kind of pushing high. So he kind of changed a little bit of the dynamic of how the game was going. So although it wasn't a straight like substitution, because he got like who's the name again before I butchered
Lorenzo Insigne.
Insigne. I think I struggle with his last name. Insigne. I'm gonna try to remember that.
He's an Italian legend,
Insigne.
right? He's played for the Italian national team. He's one of the highest goal scorers for them. He's played in Serie A most of his career.
What did he get? What did he get injured? Do you think midfield? He has to keep dropping.
Yeah, and he hasn't really settled into this league
because
or this
he's
team
like,
yet.
bro, he's doing like too much work. At least for me, I think so. He's doing too much. We're just watching the game.
Last season
they expect too much of him. I think
last season they brought in him and Bernardeschi. At the same time, both from the Serie A, both big name Italian players, and I thought right away Bernardeschi he's going to fit in. He is an MLS type of player. He is going to light the league on fire. Insigne, I wasn't sure. I just wasn't sure how that would work because the MLS and Serie A are very different styles, and he fits the Serie A perfectly.
Yeah. I mean, Italy is a physical league.
It is, but they also play a little more inverted. And when you look at great Italian league strikers and watch them go to other leagues, it doesn't always work. Think Lukaku was a bust in England, great in Italy. Yeah, Balotelli is another one, right? Like the Italian game doesn't necessarily translate out of Italy.
Yeah, you're right about that. But still, when Ankinola came in, obviously kind of brought a little bit of fire. So you kind of see them getting some shots off. They got that opportunity. Obviously, the penalty that we cover being a mistake by the youngin. And then Mark Anthony K kind of sneaking in that goal. So that's pretty much it, man. The game was pretty good. DC was supposed to win. I think they need to clear off the mistake. One thing I wanted to add was I think they started getting a little fancier. I think when you and I were kind of recapping on a highlight again this morning, you saw an opportunity that was missed where the player, I forgot who it was, but could have volleyed the ball.
It was whoever was playing out on the right.
Yeah, could have volleyed the ball, but wanted to do a bicycle kick for some reason. And then the ball came back out. I don't know if it was Klitsch that got the ball at that time.
Klitsch, yeah, he was the one that went for the second ball.
And he tried to freaking, like, I don't know what he was trying to do.
He tried to chip the keeper, and it just wasn't it.
Why?
He missed the goal by like 20 yards.
Dude, that was like you outside the box versus what? Right on the line. And it's like...
Triusi did it. Triusi did it.
There's levels to this. Okay? But yeah. I didn't like that they were trying to get... They didn't seem to settle, staying. Rooney's got the boys playing. I think you're right. I had him last, but I think you're right. They're going to do better. Because I think you had him a little bit higher.
I had them one spot higher.
Yeah.
And I said that might be a little unfair to them. And just one more thing. We talked about all the goals, but we didn't talk about the timing of these goals.
Yeah.
I want to point out, going into added time. So 90th minute already hit.
The last goal.
The last two goals. 90th minute already hit, and Toronto was up 2-1. Benteke's header, 90th minute. And then Di Pareto.
First of all, don't move past Benteke's goal too fast because Pietro had something to do with that goal.
He got the second assist on that.
Yeah. I want to give him his praise because he played good at 21. Yeah, he
21
played
years
good.
young.
Wearing number 21 as well. He played good. So I just wanted us to give him a little prop with that assist. But keep going.
And then Cu Di Pietro, 98th minute of the game.
Goal.
Last kick of the ball.
What a goal.
Puts it in the back of the net.
It was calm too.
Yeah, it was, and that is such a pressure moment.
Cold-blooded.
For a 21-year-old That kid's got
I think
something.
he got him by surprise too because he stopped when he went for like a second. It's like, yo, I think I just scored.
Yeah,
and then
he like
ran
looked
off.
back and then like he did a little double take. He's like, he's in the net.
Yeah.
Like he was about to celebrate. And he's like, wait, let me check. And then he celebrated.
Yo, that kid is good. I think he came on for I don't know. We think he came on for Roberto, correct? Does they show it on?
He did in the 67th minute.
Yeah, Roberto was playing good though. So, but I also think that was a good substitution. So I think for me, maybe they should have taken off Benteke, but hey, Benteke had that second goal. So you know, it was good coaching. Good coach, Wayne Rooney. That's my boy. But you got the boys playing.
He did, and I thought overall it was a good game. It was exciting.
You got the boys playing.
And we'll see what it is when they're playing a higher tier team. I think we both had Toronto a little bit down this season.
Yeah.
So we'll see what it's like when they're playing a Philadelphia Union.
Yeah. I'm expecting them to do good things. All right, awesome. So on to a game that you watch and that you're excited about because you mentioned the goal here. Austin, Texas playing the newcomers, the newbies, St. Louis.
I know it's a little early in the season. Game day 1.
I told you these boys can come in and make some noise, man.
Hold on. Driussi, goal of the season.
Woo!
Goal of the season.
Two touch.
Stamped,
Left.
sealed, delivered.
Right, left.
He gets a ball from a 40-yard ball from their center back.
First touch.
First touch with his right foot, puts it onto his left side. Second touch, chip with his left foot up and over Roman your guy.
Can I say he looked lost. Berkey looked lost on that one. Anybody would have looked lost on that one.
So goalkeepers, what we call that is he was in no man's zone. He came out a little. He didn't come out far enough. And he didn't stay back. So he was in that mid zone where you can't do anything.
Yeah.
If he was deeper on his line, he could have saved it. If he was up to take it off his foot, he could have saved it. But he was caught in no man's land, and that's a tough place to be.
And he just froze. Bro, I'm going to say something controversial. I like the first touch more than I like the goal.
Yeah, for sure. To bring a ball down like that, and some people will say it wasn't a good touch because it didn't stop right in front of him. It went about 2 yards to his left.
He went where it was supposed to go for that goal. Yeah.
If you're looking, there's a player coming from his right side to shut him down. So that touch, whether it was intentional or not, to put it onto his left side is the only reason he scored that.
That's what I was going to say, the recognition of that, and then also recognizing I don't need to do more with this. The goal, like at that moment, imagine that bang, dude. That was like a 2-second thing. Him seeing the defender, seeing the goalkeeper, and saying, "This is my shot," and it's just chipping it over. That was. I'm right there with you.
We are being a little unfair here because it was the second goal of the game. The first one was St. Louis, and
they got the captain. What's his name? Parker. Mr. Parker.
Yeah, their defender. He's a MLS veteran. It came off of a Lewin corner kick. Parker, big man, back post, doing Benteke
made history
last
night. Yeah,
he scored a good header. Like I said with Benteke's goal, it's the type of header you expect a big center back to score every time, right? And he did it. And
yeah.
He was living in it. Like
he was crazy. But dude, you have to think it's there, and then you also understand what that does to, because as a veteran, this is our first ever goal, and I'm the captain, and I just scored it. So he took that moment to wake his team up, be like, "Hey, we here, we belong, we belong."
And now, since we're in the moving back part of this game, going even further earlier into the game, 11th minute in, Cascante, the center back for Austin, gets a pretty bad head injury. He gets evaluated, and Austin are forced to use a concussion substitution, which doesn't count as one of their 5 substitutions for the game because it's a 4 sub. So they still allowed their 5 after, but Kip Keller, second-year pro out of college, comes in. He is not ready to be playing this game. And
you don't think so?
We'll get to that a little later, but just know if Cascante was still in, center back is Austin's weakest point. Like in terms of depth, they are not deep at center back role. So to lose a starter and have to bring in this kid, it hurts them, right? So then moving forward after the 1-1 goal by the beautiful Driussi goal, and the ball up from the center back was Viasenin. Good center back there, and it was a beautiful ball up to him, 40, 50 yards. That brings us to halftime.
Wasn't Driussi?
Or Driussi's goal was
like right at halftime.
It was in the 4th minute of added time.
Yeah. So like 48th, 49th.
Yeah. So But up until that, it was all St. Louis.
Yeah,
Like,
no, they came in ready to
Yeah,
play. And
Austin
then
didn't have many
one
looks.
thing I understand what you're saying, but I also brought this up. This is all strategic too. They're a new team, man. What you want to do is bring excitement. So I think they went heavy on that top. They went heavy on the attack and heavy on exciting players that can make some great things happen. And then they just got solid. They just want to have average play on the back at least. So that's probably why they didn't go deep in that, because what you want to do, first team, the MLS. First of all, one thing I want to say before we move on, the MLS is good, man. It's getting good.
it is.
The competition
I
is getting
have it
good.
as a lot of people
As far
have
as
them
the
ranked
league,
as like
yeah.
the 15th to 20th best league in the world.
Yeah,
I have it right in that 10th spot. I
bro,
think it's
it
better
is.
than
It
people
is
say.
getting good. Like in a few years, we might be competing in a high level.
The only
Yeah.
issue is that we're simply not in Europe, so we're not going to
Yeah,
get
yeah.
our teams into many European
Yeah,
competitions. So there's never going to be that easy
Yeah,
comp.
so the opportunity is always going to be like the World Cup, like
Yeah.
the clubs World Cup, like to maybe prove yourself, then make some noise. But
But also, actually, just on that, so of the last World Cup, like the actual international World Cup, outside of the top, I think 5 or 6 best leagues in the world, I think top 5 leagues in the world, the MLS brought in the most amount of players to that World Cup than
Nice.
any other league. So they
Yeah.
were the 6th most represented league in the world.
yeah,
That says something.
No, they're coming. They're coming for real. The competition level. What I mean, I'm kind of taking us off trail here, but I just wanted to bring that up. The competition level is looking good, man. I was
sure.
entertained last night. I was really
For
entertained.
sure.
Yeah.
And so then going into our second half here, Austin are a lot more aggressive now, right? They
Yeah.
realize they need to pick it up. And it
Can't let
looked,
these kids win.
it looked really good for a moment there.
Yeah.
Komanich, who I'm high on, he's a young left back, TAM level left back, good player. He looked like the player Austin wanted him to be. He was a very aggressive and attacking left back. He was getting up into what winger positions would look like. He was the attack in that second half for them.
Yeah.
And then in the 66th minute, he played an unbelievable low cross into the box.
Yeah.
Giassi Zardes misses it by about 4 inches, and that would have been a goal.
Yeah.
Right? That would have put them in the lead right there. But then in the 72nd minute, Komanich replacement, he gets subbed out, replacement, Gallagher does a great little combination play with Fagundes and takes it on the dribble right inside the box and just puts it side netting to put Austin up 2-1. All their plays coming from their left backs,
Yeah.
which is crazy. But 2-1 Austin, and then things changed because I wrote my note here in the 84th minute, Austin's playing with the ball too much in the back, right?
Yeah.
And they were, because then Kip Keller, the young kid, makes a mistake. He looks at his former teammate in Stroud, who is now with St. Louis. He looks him dead in the eye, plays him a pass. Stroud turns, looks at the goalkeeper and says, "I got this," and puts it in the net. And as soon as Stroud turned his hips to face the goal, you see Keller's hands go to his head, and he's just like, "Oh no!" But it was clearly, he wasn't like he didn't know he was there. He looked him in the eye, played him a pass right to his foot, and it was just like, "Oh, did you think you were on the same team today? Is that what happened last year? It was confusing when players transfer." Poor kid, man.
He didn't read the transfer report, man. You got to get this player the transfer report.
Man, I felt so bad for him because he just grabbed his head and was just in dismay. But like he had no idea. He looked him in the eye and played a pass. Like I've seen back passes from defenders that go for goals, but I have never seen a defender look a guy in and say, "I got you."
He said, "Hey, bro, why don't you push this up for us?"
What a mistake. So
Maybe he's used to passing them the ball like that.
God.
Maybe that's like when you have that friend that you've played with a lot of time in a pitch, and it's like, when you see him, you know where they want the ball and everything. Maybe they have that chemistry.
Yeah, that was a nightmare. So that made it 2-2 for St. Louis, and all of a sudden tides have turned there late in the game. Right, that was 86th minute, I believe, 88th minute, and tides have turned, and now Klaus gets the ball. And from a great run. The ball gets played into Klaus, their Brazilian DP striker. This poor kid Keller comes in to cover the space on him and gets put on ice skates, man.
Do you feel bad for him?
Just gets cut, right? Like, he had
I'm
3
sorry.
ankle breaks in there. I didn't even know he had 3 ankles, but all of them got broke, right? Like, and then
Bro, stop
Klaus does good things and puts a ball in the net, gives St. Louis the win.
He's got
but this
3
poor
ankle
kid,
breaks.
This poor kid, man.
All 3 of his ankles.
Poor
You got me dying over here.
I could.
Should we send him a basket?
When I was watching that, man, I was watching it through my fingers. Like, it was just cringe. Like, oh man, poor Kip Keller.
Should we send him
I think he's going to be a
better
good
basket?
I think he's going to be a good center back. Today is not that day. So,
Bro,
that
we should send him a feel better basket.
Yeah.
Like, get some chocolates and everything.
yeah, poor
with,
kid
with the
man.
wine.
Poor
and
kid. I couldn't imagine being in his shoes today. We'll see if he ever sees the field again.
I think you will. I think you will. Good,
But
good player.
yeah,
All right.
no. Overall though, St. Louis looked good.
Yeah.
They looked really
I
good.
told you. You made fun of me. Remember when I told you?
First off, we both had them ranked. Pretty
No,
bad.
no. I had him. Let me pull. I have it on my phone.
All right, pull it up.
I'll pull it up right now. I have it on my phone.
I had
right
them
here.
ranked bad.
You had
but
him ranked bad. I had him.
We'll see because there's a couple ways this
Oh,
could go.
my
Yeah, where'd
bad.
you have them? No. Just say it.
Let's keep moving.
That's what I thought. So the thing here is, were they really this good, or did they ball out for their first ever MLS game?
I
Will
think
there
that
be a
has
drop?
to. First of all, you and I spoke about it. I don't think they're making the playoff, and they're not gonna. I mean, they're beating a real good team, but they're not making the play. They're not doing this for like the whole season. They're gonna hit some. You know when you're like a beginner lifting weight, or working out or doing something.
Yeah.
You always get that first pump the first 2 months, and then you hit those blocks and you start to plateau a little bit. It's gonna happen to them.
Yeah.
But they have some good pieces. They have some veterans, and first of all they gotta get good players in there, like good level player, good bench player. They gotta get some depth in their roster.
Yeah, that's for
so
sure.
It's gonna
An injury
now that you
sideline.
like an injury away, they might go back to being the team we saw yesterday to an high school soccer team. So So I don't see them doing this the whole season, but they're gonna win over the city for sure if they do this every now and then. Every 6th game, if they do this, they may win over the team.
Yeah,
I mean the city for sure. All right, let's. You got anything you want to add, or you want to move on?
I think we should move
All
on.
right, let's move on to Vancouver and Real Salt Lake City.
Vancouver RSL. It was a fun one.
Yeah.
It was a fun one.
Yeah.
Vancouver was on the front foot early. They got a goal in the 24th minute from their right back Brown. It was a header off of a perfectly placed corner. Not much to say about that. And then RSL started to look a bit more dangerous right at the end of that half.
Yeah.
But it was all Vancouver first half.
Yeah.
Second half, there were a couple very early mistakes by the RSL goalkeeper that were very lucky not to be punished. Like first 2 minutes of the half, and they got away with one. And then from that point, they started to pick it up, because ever since the 60th minute on, I started raving about the Vancouver goalkeeper Takioka. He played in the J League, the Japanese league, last year. Best goalkeeper in the league last season for the J League. And he came in and he showed that. He's only 5'11", which is not a thing for American goalkeepers, like MLS goalkeepers. But he made some saves. I think I wrote down 4 different times, what a save. What a save.
Yeah.
Like, just, he kept them in it until he didn't. So
you always got to end on a bad note.
well,
Why?
70th, this was a bad 5 minutes for them. 70th minute comes, RSL gets a goal off of a big cross in. Keeper misjudges it a little bit. Player comes sliding in Glad on the back post, and he just gets a foot on it and puts it in the net.
Yeah.
1-1. 3 minutes later, Damir Krylak. Guy you used to is he that good? Yeah, he's that good.
He's that good.
He's that good. Damir Krylak. There was beautiful play down the left-hand side of the pitch by Savarino. He put out a good pass to Krylak, who made a run into the box, drawing a defender with him, and then stopped quickly. The defender kept going, created that space for himself, got the ball, put it in the net. Did number 9 things. It wasn't anything flashy, but it was good in the box movement and awareness to create some space for himself.
Yeah.
Get the ball and put it in the back of the net, professionally done. And 2-1. And all of a sudden, in a 3-minute span, RSL go from losing this game to winning this game.
Yeah, literally to 70 to 73rd minutes, the game shifted.
Yep. And then from that point on, Vancouver started putting the pressure on, trying to get back into it. And it was all Vancouver again. Literally, this game was Vancouver dominated for 85 minutes. But that 5-minute span,
that they let the
RSL did
gas. They just
it was
did
crazy.
what they're supposed to do.
It was crazy. Your man, Carlos Gomez, he
boy.
makes his MLS debut coming in as a sub in the 74th minute. And it was okay. He did all right. It wasn't anything special. He was fast at times. He's got to
settle in. So
I was watching the game with my girlfriend, and she looked at him as he made one run, his first touch on the ball, and goes, "He's fast." I was like, "Yeah, he is. He is."
Youngin, like, that's my boy. Yeah,
he looked good in the few touches he got, but
I like him. I want to see him do good and transfer out.
But yeah, when he came in though, it was right after the second goal, so his duties were no longer attacking duties; they were play defense here.
Yeah.
So he did what he needed to do, but we didn't get to see the attacking thrill that he can bring because it wasn't his job that
he's
game.
Gonna have opportunities. He's gonna have opportunities. So yeah, definitely getting some fresh legs in there to keep it because of how Vancouver was playing. So definitely get that. But I'm excited for Real Salt Lake, man. I'm excited for them. I think they got away with one though. They got away with one.
Which one?
Oh wait. Like with this goal, like with this game, they got away with it.
They got lucky. They did not play well.
Yeah,
and except for 5 minutes.
Yeah,
and you do that against a higher quality team in the West.
Yeah, so their coach really gotta drill into them. Like, hey, we got away with one. Like training tomorrow or today, whatever it is. Like that needs to be an emphasis. Like, how do we create more? How do we look more settled? How do we not play from behind and look disorganized? So I think they're going to be good. Don't have much to add about that. I'm excited to see Gomez get more playing time and show us what he can do. I know he can be a force to be reckoned with in there. So so that's pretty much it, Coach. Do you have anything you want to add for us on there?
I do not.
All right, awesome. That covers our first part. We're going to go ahead and take a quick break, and we'll be right back, guys. And we are back for a second part where we're going to touch on some quick game recaps that we didn't do a full review on. And Coach David is going to get us started with that kind of touch on every game. So let's go ahead and start with Atlanta and San Jose. Tell me a little bit about that game, Coach.
That game ended 2-1 in favor of Atlanta. Jeremy Obobisi for San Jose scores in the 12th minute. That is my player draft pick there, getting a goal for me early in the season. I'm happy with that.
Yeah, to bring that up.
But in the added time of the second half, in the 93rd and 99th minute of the game, Almada comes in clutch. The young Argentinian recently won a World Cup, scores 2 stunners, like beautiful goals. One off of play and one off of a free kick. Couldn't be better. Cancels out Obobisi's early goal. Atlanta 2-1 final. Not much more to say about that.
Don't they look refreshed after homeboy left?
They looked good. They looked very, very good.
All right, awesome. So with that, thank you. We're going to dive right in, and we're going to touch with Cincinnati and Houston.
Cincinnati-Houston. Another 2-1 game here. A little bit different format here. Cincinnati go up early with a Sergio Santos goal, who I was surprised to see in this game. But Sergio Santos, 19th minute goal. And then late in the half, Schmidt for Houston scores a 45th minute equalizer, put that 1-1 at halftime. And then right at the beginning of the second half, Nwobo, he scores a good goal to give them the lead early on in the half, and Cincinnati hold on.
Yeah.
And they held on against a team that I think most teams in the league can hold on against. But well done for them.
Houston.
Good 2 goals by 2 players that you don't expect to score the goals for them.
Yeah.
And they got a job done.
We won. We live in Cincinnati. That's good for us.
We did it.
Let's go. All right, so we got Philly and Columbus. What you got for us there, Coach?
Oh, man, I could wax poetically about this Philadelphia team.
Philly's a good team. I don't think you should be hard on Columbus.
No, they were putting touchdowns on teams last year, scoring 6-7-0s, and they started out strong here. 4-1 win for Philadelphia over Columbus. This was in Philadelphia, so home field advantage. But Daniel Gazdag, who I think is one of mine as well. I think I picked him in the player draft. Daniel
Don't bring that up.
Gazdag scores 2 penalty kicks in this match. In the 45th minute with extra time and in the 72nd minute. And then Jacob Glesnes, great player for Columbus. He scored the first goal of this game in the 28th minute.
Yeah.
But Gazdag's double pens, it's hard to score 2 penalties in a row because it's a mind game at that point, right? Are you going to put it back in the same spot? Are you going to go the other way? The goalkeeper has a better read on you now. That's hard to do, score multiple pens in a game. And he did it. And then Julian Carranza scores 2 goals as well in the 52nd and 80th minute. And it's just a masterclass by Philadelphia there, right? Columbus is a team a lot of people are high on, and they smacked them.
All right, awesome, great. So we're going to move on. Well, I expected kind of Philly to do that. So let's go ahead and move on to Orlando City and then the New York Red Bulls. Good game there. I think it was a good game.
It was 1-0 for Orlando. Facundo Torres gets a 56th minute penalty.
Yeah.
Puts it in the net.
Simple.
Do we need to say more?
Nah.
All right.
Let's move on.
Fair enough.
Let's go to the New England game. Who did they play? Let me pull it up.
It was Charlotte.
All right, awesome. So New England and Charlotte. What you got for us, Coach?
That was a 1-0 win for New England, which I think is expected. It isn't expected that Henry Kessler scores the goal. Defensive-minded player putting a goal in the 89th minute. I would have expected New England to have a better control over this game early on. But, hey, you need someone to step up? Why not a defender? Yeah. Henry Kessler does the job. 89th minute, 1-0 New England over Charlotte. Queen City down.
Yes. So let's go ahead and move on here. We're going to do Miami and Montreal.
Yes, Miami, Montreal. Now, this was a game for Miami. 2-0 win over Montreal. Montreal did not look like themselves from last year. And I think that's expected. They lost a lot of very good players. But the big news on this Miami team is Joseph Martinez. He started the game for them, came in, first start, and he played okay. He didn't score any of their goals. Their goals came from, I think, actually 2 substitute players. But in Christov, I guess, and Borgelin. Not 2 easy names there in the 41st and 76th minute, respectively. And, comfortable win there for Miami. You like seeing a goal in each half, right?
Yeah.
That's when a coach can breathe a bit.
Yeah.
You're not leaving it too late. You got a little bit of comfort. You're good.
You're good. Yeah. All right, awesome. So our last game that we're doing a quick recap for, we're going to talk about Dallas and Minnesota. I almost fell asleep. I'm sorry.
You watched this game in entirety, right?
Well, I went to it because it was overlapping with the Toronto game, and I watched the first 17 minutes, and I'm like, all right, let me go back to Toronto.
Yeah, so 48th minute goal, Minnesota, 1-0.
It was a right place, right time goal. So that's pretty much it.
That was it. There wasn't much other in that game.
Yeah. All right, awesome. So we have some preview that we want to touch on that we have here. The first preview that we want to touch on here, Coach, is the Portland and SKC as far as preview. What you got to tell us about that? Who you think is going to win? How do you preview the game?
So this game was meant to be played on Saturday yesterday.
Yeah.
So we should be reviewing it, but along with the LAFC El Tráfico derby there, both of which were delayed and postponed due to snow. So Portland SKC, I like Portland in this one.
Mm-hmm.
I think bringing in Vander at the 10 role, and Eric Williamson coming in to shore up the 6 role there, I think they are going to run amok this season. I think they're going to be good, and I don't think that this SKC team can handle them. Simple as that.
Yeah.
I have probably a 3-1 win for Portland.
For the first time in history, I 100% agree with you. This makes it easy. I didn't know agreeing with you would be this easy.
No. We both agreed that Houston would be trash.
Oh, yeah.
That was an easy one. That was an easy
keep
one.
making history. I've been to Houston. All right. So we're going to talk about Seattle. Seattle going again.
Hold on. Who do you have in that Portland SKC?
I said
What's the score, though? What's the
score? I'm going to go 3-0.
3-0.
3-0. All right.
You said Willie Agata, he's not going to score a goal. All right. Shut it down. Willie Agata, no goals.
So,
heard it here first.
So your Sounders are going to be playing here pretty soon, and I think they're going against Colorado, and it's actually Sunday.
They are, yeah. They're playing today. Well, as of recording, you'll all be hearing this later.
Yeah.
But looking forward to this one. Seattle should win this comfortably. Colorado are not a bad team.
Yeah.
I'm thinking 2-0, 1-0,
I have high
2-1.
hopes for Seattle.
I think this is going to be a good match, but it's still going to be a little bit of get your legs under you, make sure you're all playing together. But
yeah,
I think this is going to be a Seattle win here.
Yeah.
I think the big question is how healthy is Rui Diaz? He came off with a knock in his last game. Will he be able to play full health? Will João Paulo be at full health? That's the main question early on in the season.
Yes.
They will all be full health probably within the first month of the season, first few games. But will they be there for day one is the question.
I mean, yeah, and then you have to always make sure that, obviously we didn't play professional like them, but even high school and a little bit of college, it takes you a while to get back in. You can be in shape, but to be in soccer shape.
Yeah.
There's
a difference from being able to run 5 miles to being able to run 5 miles with sprints thrown in, cuts.
Yeah. Change your directions, it's controlling your
physical.
Hips.
You're not just running 5 miles. You're running 5 miles with a player on your shoulder that you have to
brain has to you have to react to certain things. So it is to be in that shape is a little. So it's gonna take them a little bit, but I still pick them to win. So our last preview here is gonna be LA Galaxy going against LAFC. Who you got?
So this one, as far as the last time I checked, has not been scheduled for at least soon in the future.
Okay.
I don't know when this game is going to happen.
Should we will weigh off on the prediction?
We can hold off a little bit, but this is a game I wanted to talk on just because, man, when I saw this coming out, they were going to open in the Rose Bowl.
Yeah.
Man, this was the game I wanted to see more than anything. More than my own Sounders.
Same.
I wanted to see this.
Yeah,
First ever game in the Rose Bowl.
I have different reason. My favorite team is LA Galaxy, but I love LAFC. And I also love them to repeat this year. So I just wanted to kind of watch my favorite team going against a team that I have high hopes for and see how it's gonna go.
No, that will be an absolute classic, a repeat of the Western Conference semifinal game that LAFC beat out LA to then play Austin, who they beat to then go on to the MLS Cup final to play Philly, who they beat.
Yeah.
So it's a replay of that game, and honestly, whoever won that game in the playoffs was going to win the playoffs.
Yeah.
LA looked good. They just couldn't get past LAFC. But that
can't wait
I
to
can't
see
wait
Chicharito,
for that one.
man.
That's going to be a great game.
I want to see Chicharito.
Chicha, he's already off injured. Last game of preseason, he pulled up with an injury, had to get subbed off. We don't know if how long this is going to take.
I don't know this.
He already is starting off with an injury.
I don't know this. I was excited for that.
But Dejan Joveljic stand up. This is your time. This is your man's time to shine. Dejan Joveljic.
Let's hope for it. All right, awesome. So that covers all of our parts. And as far as what we want to cover as far as preview, we're gonna take a quick break here, and we'll be right back for a third part, and then we'll close out the show.
Cool.
And we And we are back for third part here, where we're gonna ask you a few questions here. Jump into conclusion here. I'm just gonna get some of your hot takes for some of the question I have for you here for our third part, and I'm gonna just go ahead and start by first of all, your thoughts about week one. After week one, after some of the games, we just what do you
not
think
just week one, game day one, right? So
game
we
day
only
one,
saw
yeah.
13 games,
Yeah.
26 teams in action.
Yeah,
not all the teams.
Not all the team. Yeah, you're right. So
What we saw from
off
the
of
first
the off of what you saw, give me one hot take. Let's go.
Hot take: Christian Benteke, trash, waste of money. Not gonna be it. Not that guy. You're not that guy.
You broke my heart just right there. I'm not gonna fire back, but I just know you broke my heart. All right, Green Up Pastures, first coach to be fired, just based on the games we just watched. Who do you think is gonna be fired first?
Man, it hurts me to say this, but Wilfred Nancy, I love the guy as a coach, but when you lose 4-1 in your season opener, that's not good. Although I think the first coach to be gone out of the league might be Jim Curtin. Not that he's going to be fired, but he will voluntarily move on to be the U.S. men's national team coach. That might happen at the end of the season, might happen partway through the season. I don't know, but those are my two answers. Yeah,
and he's in his last year contract with Philly, right? So, all right, awesome. So, best newcomer, who you got for us?
Best newcomer. Man, it's got to be Klaus for St. Louis. That man, the way he turned Keller's ankles, dirty. Man, I don't know about you, but I think Keller's still in the hospital. I think he's recovering.
I told you, let's say them get well basket.
Man, that man is dirty. I wasn't that high on him. I thought he would be good, but Klaus, man, Klaus is class.
Hey,
that's a T-shirt. Klaus is class.
Let's do it. Let's get it.
Yeah,
let's get it. All right. So we're gonna go do waste of money. Please don't say Benteke. Pick somebody.
It's Benteke.
He played good. He had a goal. They're trying to figure out spacing between he and Roberta.
He scored the same goal St. Louis's Parker did. And so if you want a center back to score that goal, have a center back score that goal on half the money. I'm fine with that. You don't need Benteke to score that goal. You need Benteke to score goals that no one else in the league can score. Why wasn't he subbed, though?
The fact that he wasn't subbed means that he did some good. But that's a discussion for another day. Wow, we're going with Golden Boot. Who you got out of the games we just watched? This is all hot take.
Gaz Dog. 2 penalty kicks. Anyone that scores penalties
back to back
for their team, like anyone that is their penalty kick taker, is going to be a high-level goal scorer in the league already because that's guaranteed goals, right?
Yeah.
Philadelphia, the way they attack, they're always in the box, so they get more penalties than other teams anyways.
Yeah.
And this man can score outside of penalties.
Yeah, to score 2 penalties in one game is not easy.
Gaz Dog.
All right. Awesome. Assist King. I got mine. Who you got?
I think we might have the same one here.
Who?
Hani Mukhtar.
In Hani we trust.
5 minutes into the game.
Yes.
Gets an assist. A beautiful assist. Too.
Beautiful assist.
Well, not
World class.
Beautiful in the way of
that the ball
technique,
was
but mentality.
The high Q. And using his presence. That was good. All right. So this is where you strive a little, and I always like to hear what you have to say about this. Child prodigy, who you got for us today? Who should we be on the lookout for?
This is easy. We already talked about him. Matai Akinboni, 16-year-old center back. You just don't see that, a 16-year-old starting in a men's league.
Yeah.
He played well. Like we said, he had mistakes, but physically speaking, he was there.
He belongs.
The knowledge of the position and how to play at a higher level comes, but he looks in position. Having
Wayne Rooney there, just giving him some pointers, I think halfway through the season, we are going to see a huge difference in that kid.
You might think that's weird saying that, Wayne Rooney is going to be the difference for him because Wayne Rooney was a goal scorer, right?
Yeah.
Wayne Rooney wasn't a defender. Wayne Rooney knew how to put defenders on skates.
Yes.
Wayne Rooney knows how to make defenders look stupid.
Yes.
And what a defender should do to not look stupid.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
He has the opposite perspective. Right?
Yeah.
Like I was a goalkeeper, but I am very good at telling my strikers how to play.
Yes.
Because I know what goalkeepers are looking at.
Yes.
I know how goalkeepers are thinking, and I know what a striker needs to do to put the ball in the net.
That's what I'm talking about, is that Wayne can tell him this is what you're good at, and this is what you can do to stop when this person does this, or when I would do this. If someone would have done this, then I wouldn't have been able to go here or go there. So that's kind of getting that insight. So I'm excited for that. All right. So some of next week's game, we're going to be focusing on 2 games that we're going to do a full review for. What is going to be those game, Coach?
Oh, man, this was easy. We got an East Coast game and a West Coast game.
Yep.
We'll start on the West Coast because it's the first game of the day, 4:30 p.m. LAFC versus Portland. That's going to be game. Fire, right?
Good game.
Portland's second game of the season, LAFC's first game of the season because of cancellation, which we talked about earlier.
Ready to come out the gate.
That's going to be a game.
Yes.
Oof, man, I can't wait for that one.
Yeah, I might watch that one with you.
Yeah? All right. What's your prediction on that one?
I got LA 2-1.
I think I got a 2-2 tie here.
Not far off.
I think I got a 2-2 draw.
Not far off.
And then second game we're going to be highlighting next week will be Orlando versus Cincinnati. In Orlando, Sun City. That is a 7:30 kickoff. That one, just based off of watching these two teams, I think that will be a good, tight match with 2 good offenses.
Yes.
I think that could be a fun game.
Yeah.
And we'll see. But that one I got maybe
Cincinnati
2-1 for Cincinnati.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It's streaky. So once they get going.
I feel comfortable 1-0.
Yeah,
I'm going 1-0.
I'm going to go 2-1. Okay. I'm going to go 2-1 again. I like 2-1. So that's pretty much it. So that covers it. Next week, we'll be back here doing those reviews for that. One thing we want to bring up, thanks for being with us and listening to us. One thing I do want to bring out is, guys, please do reach out to us if you have a question, if you want to get in contact with us. It is prophetspod@gmail.com. And on Twitter, you can find us at ProphetPods. I'm going to go ahead and tag it to the video. Please reach out to us if you have questions. Send us questions that we can cover. Send us things you want us to review. We want to create a community where we can just talk about the MLS. It's booming. The entertainment level is going up. And we're here to talk about it just as 2 friends. Coach, do you have anything to add with that?
I'm good.
All right,
Let's
awesome. On to the next episode.
Perfect.